Started streaming. What's up, everyone? I'm back from Los Angeles. I was there. I interviewed Steve Lukather. Those of you that saw my live stream about Jeff Beck, I was at my hotel, and it was a very sad week this week. Anyhow, just getting back with it. Haven't done a live stream. This is going to be a whiteboard lecture with my new whiteboard. That's my digital whiteboard. I'm wearing my Patagonia jacket here that I got for Christmas. Because it's cold in the studio. And the discount code, because this is going to be a theory. This is going to be a basics of theory thing that I have not done in a long time. The last whiteboard I did was about 10 months ago, I think. But I haven't done a basics of music theory in probably a year and a half or so. I used to do these all the time. Basically as much theory as I can teach in an hour. So it's going to go from 308 to 408. This is fun. I love these. The discount code for today, there is none. You go to rickbeato.com. And you will see it there, $119 for all four of my music teaching courses: the Beato Book Interactive, the Beato Beginner Guitar, Beato Ear Training, Quick Lessons Pro. This is the New Year's Resolution Bundle, and if your New Year's resolution is that you're going to learn more about music theory, then this is the time to get it. So. This is a lifetime worth of learning material because it took me a lifetime to create all this stuff, okay? And these are the basics of theory that everyone should know. And let me just talk a little bit about why you learn music theory. Music theory is just a way to communicate with people about music. It's the language of music and how to talk about music without playing, although I am going to play when I explain things right now. Okay, so we're going to start off with the things that everyone should know. The basics. The basics here, I always like to start with the circle of fifths. And the reason you start with the circle of fifths is because it shows you what notes are in each key. Okay, so if you look at this chart here, you see that C major, you'll see a 0 under that. What does that mean? That means there are no sharps or flats in the key of C major. So if I play a C major scale, let's see here. You don't even have to see, but I'll play it for you like this. So if I start here on the note C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, the C major scale, no sharps or flats, so there's no F sharp, there's no G sharp, there's nothing. So it's just all, if it was a piano, it'd be all the white notes. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. That's a C major scale, okay? There are no sharps or flats, it's all white notes in the key of C major, okay? If you go to the key of G major, there's one sharp. And if you look down here where it says sharps, that one sharp is the first sharp here, F sharp. We call this the order of sharps and order of flats. So in the key of G, there is one sharp, which is F sharp. So if I play a G major scale, I'm going to play G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay, so G major has one sharp, which is F sharp. The key of D major has two sharps, and you just take the first two sharps. Okay, always goes, order of sharps always goes in the same order. So that has C sharp and F sharp in it. So I take a D major scale, D, E, F sharp, there's your one. Board, you can do it on the guitar, doesn't matter. And then you're like, well, Rick, how do I know the notes on the guitar? Well, that's a whole nother thing that you need to do. But if you basically can do these all in, not basically, you can do all these in open position, just about all these. D flat major will be in the first position. But all these, for the most part, can be done using open strings or in the first position, meaning the index fingers at the the first fret. Okay. The order of flats. So if you go around the circle of fifths, you got C major, G major, D major, A major, E major, B major, and then F sharp or G flat. They have 6 sharps or 6 flats. Okay, so if you count all these, if I were to number these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 sharps and 7 flats. The sharps and flats actually work in reverse order. F sharp, right? If you look at it, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, B sharp, and then B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, F flat. So that's the same. That's the order of sharps in reverse. The letter names are in reverse, right? So B, E, A, D, right? And then here we have B, E, A, D. Okay, so this goes, then G, C, F. This is how you can remember them easy. So the order of sharps and order of flats are reversed. Okay, so if we were to take a scale, let's say we'll pick something on the flat side. And let me do this here. Erase this. So let's say I take the key of B flat major, okay? So that has 2 flats in it. And if you just look at the order of flats, it's B flat and E flat, right? The first 2. So you got there and there. Okay, so I start with a note B flat, and I just write out the letter names. B flat, C, D, E, but it's really going to be E flat, F, G, A. So, and that's a B flat major scale. So the only flats, that's the first flat, this is the second flat there, okay? B flat and E flat. It tells you that there are 2 flats in it, and if you look at the order of flats, B flat, E flat. Okay? Let's do another one here. We'll do another flat key. So let's say E flat major. I have something wrong on here, actually. I have these reversed. E flat, I'm sorry. E flat, A flat. There we go. Apologize for that. See, I'm looking at it right now, and I had it reversed. So if you just started, you're like, Rick, you got this wrong on here. Okay. So the order of flats, let's take the key of, let's take A flat major. So I'm going to start with A flat. Then I'll just write out the letter names, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, then I'm going to fill in the flats. So there's 4 flats in it. So it's B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. Well, we have A flat in there. B flat, D flat, and E flat. That's an A flat major scale. So if I go to the guitar and I start on the note A flat here, do it. This is not that difficult. This stuff is way easier than you think. So if I start on the note A flat here, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat, do, 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 do. You can do it here too. A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, open G, A flat. Sorry for the buzz. Gotta get that fixed. That's a truss rod for sure. Okay, so that's the order of sharps and flats. This is how you figure out what notes are in each key. I'm going to do one more in a sharp key. Okay, so let's say we go, let's do this. Do another sharp key. Let's say key of E major. So I'll just write out the notes in E major. E, F, G, A, B, C, D. I'm just writing the alphabet. And it says it has 4 sharps. So you'll take the first 4 sharps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. F sharp, C sharp. Then you G sharp and D sharp. That's an E major scale. E major. Okay. So this is how you know, and how do you do this? You just have to memorize this. You just basically write out this chart and you memorize it. Once you know what notes are in each key, everything else starts to actually fall into place. Okay? Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, we're going to go to the next thing here. So this would be, let me erase this here. So we're going to talk about how to build chords. Once you know what the keys are, then you can figure out how to build chords, okay? So building chords, what does that mean? Well, let's say we take a key, like the key of C, because there are no sharps or flats in it, right? C major. So we'll take the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B. That's a C major scale, okay? If we look at the triads of C major, in order to build the triads of C major, you start on the first note, you just go to every other note, and that gives you the triads. So the first one is C major. So C, C, E, G is C major, okay? Equals C major. That's your one chord, okay? You have a Roman numeral 1, a capital Roman numeral. That's C major. The next chord would be D minor, so D, F, A, just every other note of the scale. Okay, that's D minor. D, F, A equals D minor. Minus means minor. I'm going to put a lowercase Roman numeral there. The lowercase Roman numeral are the two I's. Okay, that means minor. So that's a D minor chord. If I go to the next chord, E minor, you get E, G, B. Okay, that's E minor chord there. That's the 3 chord in the key of C. So E, G, B equals E, equals E minor, right? And I put this minor 3 chord. That's for analysis, these Roman numerals. The next chord is F major. F, A, C equals F major. Put a major 4. G, B, D is the 5 chord. That's G major. A, C, E. I'm just doing this. I'm just going every other note. A, then C, then E. I've just come back around the circle. That's A minor or A minus, right? That's the 6th chord is minor. And the 7th chord is diminished. B, D, F. I'm not used to writing on this. B, D, F equals B diminished or 7 diminished. The circle means diminished right there, okay? All right, these are the triads of C major. Now, you say, okay, well, what good is this? Well, this is kind of the building blocks of chords, of chord progressions. If I have a song, and I look at this song, and it's like C, F, G, A minor. Okay, C, F, G, A minor. So it's the 1 to 4, F major is 4, G major is 5, and A minor is 6. I'm going to write this another way so you can see this. This is a better way to think about this. All keys have a order of chords, order of triads. The triads are 7th chords, so it doesn't matter. The simple way to do this is in a major key, 1, 4, and 5, the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and 5 chord are major. 2, 3, and 6 are minor. 2, 3, and 6 chords are minor. And then the 7 chord is diminished. Okay, so if you know what notes are in each key, let's say we're in the key of G. So you write out a G major scale. I'm going to go G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. That's a G major scale. I know that because I've memorized my circle of fifths, okay? Well, the chords in G major, I'm going to go fill in using my little chart here. 1, 4, and 5 are major, so I don't have to do anything to those. 2, 3, and 6 are minor, so I'm going to put a little minus next to those. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is diminished. So this one's going to be diminished. Put a little circle next to that. Those are the chords in G major. So if you want to do a blues in G, the 1, 4, 5 is G, C, D, right? If you're going, That's a 4 chord. C, G, D, C, and then back to G. Okay, that would be a basic blues in the key of G, but it's using G major, C major, D major, 1, 4, 5. Or if you start getting to more complex chord progressions, you can go, 1, 6, 2, 5. If I was 1, 6, 2, 5, it'd be G, G major, 1 to 6, E minor. The 2 chord is A minor to the 5 chord D major, 1, 6, 2, 5. This is how people in Nashville learn how to play songs. So you come into a session in Nashville, songwriter, and he plays a demo or she plays a demo, and there's a leader, a session leader that takes it and turns it into a Nashville numbering system. Nashville numbering system is just this. What are the chords in the key? So if the key doesn't change, it'll be like, okay, we're in the key of G, and it's a 1, 5, 4, 6. So that person will just write out those numbers, 1, 5, 4, 6. And the people know that it's G, 1 to 5, D, 4 is C, and 6 is E minor. Whoops, E minor. 1, 5, 4, 6. Except in this case, if it's Nashville, you can just do this. You're in the key of G. Go like G, like this, and just go 1, 5, 4, 6. And everybody knows what that means then. They know that, they know what those chords are, okay? The Roman numerals are music theory. That's what you learn in college, is the Roman numerals like that. Jazz players use that. Classical musicians use the Roman numerals. It's all the same thing. It doesn't matter. You just... The thing that's good about Roman numerals is that the Roman numerals actually tell you, if they're lowercase Roman numerals, it tells you they're minor chords, right? Or if there's a circle next to it, it tells you it's a diminished chord. So this is what is great about the Roman numerals, because it actually gives you more of a description of what the chords are. Sorry, but this 1 I have there should just be this 1. I don't write very often, so it's like, I guess that's how you write a 1. I don't even know how to write 1. Is it just a straight line? Isn't that weird that you just, because I never write anymore? It's so strange. Is that even how you write a, Billy, is that how you write a 1? Or is it just like that? Okay, there we go. I guess that's just 1, just a little slash like that. Somebody said augmented is missing. Augmented chords you get in minor keys, okay? But we want to talk about another thing. We want to talk about 7th chords before we move on, because we're talking about major keys first. It's always good to learn major keys and learn minor keys. And you get augmented chords and scales like the melodic minor scale and the harmonic minor scale. It's a little bit more sophisticated, but it's pretty basic stuff. Okay, so in a major key, the 7th chords are like this. 1 is a major 7, and the 4 chord is a major 7, okay? So you're like, well, how do you get that? Well, if I take a C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. If I take the first note, the 3rd note, the 5th note, and the 7th note, that gives me a 7th chord. That's a C major 7 chord. So, right, these 1 and 4 are major 7ths. Major 7ths. 2, 3, and 6 are minor 7s. 2, 3, and 6 are minor 7ths. And the 7th chord is a minor 7 flat 5. Minor 7 flat 5. There's another way you can write it too. The 7th chord could also be written like this, as a half diminished. Now you're going, oh my God, this is way too complicated. It's not. These are just basic patterns. Once you do this, I learned this. My first guitar lesson with Tom Rizzo in, probably March of 1978. First thing he taught me was that. So if you had a 1, 6, 2, 5 in the key of, using 7th chords in the key of C, so 1 would be C major 7. 6 chord, okay, would be A minor 7. The 2 chord would be D minor 7, and the 5 chord would be G7. So it'd be like C minor, C major 7, 1, 6 is A minor 7, D minor 7, 2, 5, 1. 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. So this is 1, major 7, 6, minor 7, 2, minor 7, and then 5, 7. Okay? Okay, so before we go any further, I want to talk about something that's related to these, okay, which are modes. Okay, so why are modes important? Modes are important. I was listening to this Jeff Beck song today. It's off of the Jeff Beck's Guitar Shop with Terry Bozzio and Tony Hymas, and it's came out in '89, I think, and it's a song called "You Were There." I mean, where were you? And I don't want to play the thing here, but Jeff plays this. I don't have it hooked up to play through here, but Jeff plays this beautiful, beautiful lick, like all the licks he plays. But about halfway through, he plays this lick. Beautiful. So if you got like E minor, that would be like E Dorian lick, and then he goes. I love that. That'd be like a G Dorian sound. Okay, these are modal sounds, and Jeff knew what these sounds were and how to get them out of the guitar because he had a very sophisticated ear for harmony, and these are really. This is Where Were You? It looks like this. I don't know if you guys can see that on here. Where Were You? Okay, so it's Jeff. It's his Guitar Shop record, Jeff Beck Guitar Shop record. It's a beautiful record. That particular song blows my mind. Oh my God, it's unreal. Modes. So modes and chords work like this. And this is, once again, something I learned in my first lesson. Okay, so the modes go with the chords in a key. Okay, so let's say we're in the key of C major. Doesn't matter what key you're in, any key. Modes always go in the same order that chords go in, right? Remember I said that the 1 chord is major. We'll just use triads. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. And the modes that go with these, the mode that goes with the 1 chord is Ionian. Ionian. The mode that goes with the 2 chord is Dorian. That's the second mode. This is how modes work, Phrygian. So all these are in my Beato book. They're also part of my ear training course that teaches you how to hear what modes people are using. Lydian. Not used to writing on these things here. Lydian, D-I-A-N. Then you have the mode built on the 5th scale degree is Mixolydian. I'm not going to write it out. Mode built on the 6th scale degree is Aeolian. Mode built on the 7th scale degree is Locrian. Whoops. Locrian. So the modes and the chords, whether they're 7th chords or triads, work with these things. So if you're playing on the 1 chord, you play Ionian. If you're playing on the 4 chord, you play Lydian. If you're playing on the 6 chord, you play Aeolian. This is how they work. Or you could say, well, Rick, if it's all in the same key, you can just play, let's say you're in C major, just play C major over the whole thing. Well, you can do that. You can totally do that. But you need to know how to analyze these things beforehand to know what key you're in. Okay? But the modes, when I hear Jeff Beck play this lick here, when I heard this, and he's going, there was just an E minor chord just before this happened in the song. There's a that's just a beautiful sound. That's a total Dorian lick. Had he gone, that would have been Aeolian. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. You guys know that tune? Love that. Dorian, that'd be G Dorian. So when I hear these things, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what that is. Because I have a language that I've developed by hearing these things, right? So so let me go back to this here. So these are how modes and chords work together. Okay, the 1 mode goes with the 1 chord, Ionian. The 2 mode, Dorian, goes with the 2 chord. The 3 mode, Phrygian, goes with the 3 chord. Okay, I can easily put the chord names right above these. If we're in the key of C major, you'd have C, you'd have D minor, you have E minor, you have F major, G major, A minor, B diminished. Okay, so the modes that go with each of these: C Ionian, D Dorian, E Phrygian, F Lydian, G Mixolydian, A Aeolian, B Locrian. So all of this music theory you can get along with video lessons and video lectures you can get at rickbeato.com. That's where you can buy my my New Year's rickbeato.com. Okay, it's for $119. I mean, this is honestly how I run my channel because I don't do ads. So not only do you get stuff that will teach you for the rest of your life about music theory, about ear training. My quick lessons thing is for more advanced things like these modal things. I do this. I talk about modes and how to use modes in your soloing and that. Or my beginner guitar. If you're a beginner, or if you play another instrument and you want to learn guitar, it teaches you the basics of guitar, how to play strumming patterns, how to play all your open chords, how to play your basic scales, things like that. This is, my New Year's resolution bundle because you're like, okay, well, I'm going to learn how to play an instrument this year, or I'm going to learn music theory this year, or I'm going to learn ear training this year and get better at it. Ear training is basically like learning a language. This is all learning a foreign language. Music theory is just a language. Okay, it's the language of music. So this is why you want to do this. Right? This is why you want to embark on this, to learn these things. Very, very important. Okay? So this is how modes and chords work. But what do you take out of this? Like, what's the important lesson on this? Well, the important lesson is to learn your keys, right? Like what notes are in each key. Learn your triads and 7th chords. So you want to learn your key centers, keys. Keys mean what notes are in each key. What notes make up a key? Make up a key. Then you have your chords, right? Chords, which would be triads and 7th chords. Okay? So triads and 7th chords. So that would be 1, 4, 5 are major. I'm just doing this again. We're going to just drill this stuff. 2, 3, and 6 are minor. 2, 3, 6 are minor. And 7 chord is diminished. Those are triads. God, I can't even write ads. And then your seventh chords, 1 and 4 are major 7. Major 7. 2, 3, and 6 are minor 7. I can picture Tom Rizzo writing this for me back in 1978. What is that? Almost 50 years ago. And your seventh chord is minor 7 flat 5. These are seventh chords in a major key. Okay? And remember then that modes work with each chord. The one mode goes with the one chord, so that's Ionian. Ionian goes with the one chord. The two mode Dorian goes with the 2 chord. The 3 mode Phrygian goes with the 3 chord. This is that simple. This is just really pretty straight ahead stuff here, and it's memorization. Okay? All right, so those are keys. So we've learned chords, keys, and modes. Okay. Like I said, the hearing these things, I don't know why this isn't erasing here. Oh, I know why, because I don't have the eraser thing on here. So this works just like a whiteboard. This is great. This is better than a whiteboard. I like this. So chords, modes, triads, and seventh chords. Okay, so you're like, okay, well, what else do you need to know? Well, triads, seventh chords, and we learned chord progressions. Okay, so then you're like, well, what if there's a chord that's not in the key? Okay, well, there are things called secondary dominant chords. There are borrowed chords. These are when songs get a little bit more complex. And you'll say, okay, what does that mean? Well, let's say I'm in the key of F major, okay? F major. That has the notes F, G. I'm going to put the chords in. G minor, A minor, B flat major, C major, D minor, E diminished. Okay? Or F major 7, G minor 7, A minor 7, B flat major 7, C7, D minor 7, E minor 7 flat 5. Okay? We did the song Wichita Lineman last night, Jimmy Webb song. Beautiful song. Glen Campbell. Just unbelievable. So it's like, I am lineman for the county. Starts on B flat major 7. Well, that's actually the 4 chord in the key of F major. So you know you're in the key of F, so I'm going to go 4, major 7. Then A minor 7 is really F over A. But we'll say A minor 7. And you look on here and like, what is A minor 7? Oh, that's a 3 chord. Drive the main road. Drive the main road. That goes down to G minor 7. Okay, so that is the 2 chord. Searching in the sun. Then it goes D minor 7. I'm not putting them in the right bars because I don't have room here. Drive the main road. Searching in the sun. A minor 7. That's the 3 chord. So the D minor 7 is the 6 chord to the 3 chord. Another overload. For another overload. Okay, then we have a G major chord here. Okay, G major is not in the key of F. Okay, so you're like, well, what key is that from? Well, that's from a different key. So this is where you have to know that's a secondary dominant chord. You say to yourself, yes, it's actually, if you think about this as the key of B flat, G is a 5 of 4. Okay, that means it's the 5 chord of the 4 chord, which is, I'm sorry, 5 of 5. It's the 5 chord. I have it wrong here. I'm sorry. 5 of 5. There we go. It's the 5/7 or 5 of 5. It's the 5 chord of the 5 chord, right? It's taken from a different key. So it's a slight, quick modulation. But then you have to look on each side of it to decide if you've actually changed keys. Then the next chord is D major. Okay, it's like, okay, I think we're in a different key now. All right, so this is where you're stuck, because a D major chord is not in the key of F major. Okay, so you've definitely changed keys here. This is where music theory helps. This is how you transpose songs to different keys. So any professional player will know that if you want to play this in a different key, then you can use these basic principles. This is where the Nashville number system comes in handy, or knowing these Roman numerals comes in really handy. Okay, so these are chords that are borrowed from another key, or you are, let me do this here. So let me talk about this for a second. So taking a chord from another key, once you find one chord that's not in the key, you're either going to a new key, or it's just one isolated chord that's borrowed from a different key and placed in there. It could be a secondary dominant. It could be a, if I have a chord progression like this. That's a million songs. It's Radiohead. It's Lana Del Rey. It's so many songs. So key of A major, 1 chord, 3 major. Okay, that's a borrowed chord. It's from a different key, because normally the 3 chord would normally be minor, but to the 4 chord. So the 4 minor chord, another borrowed chord. Borrowed, when somebody says borrowed, they mean taken from another key. Okay? So these chords that you have, so I would say, if somebody said, Rick, what's the progression? Oh, it's just 1 major, 3 major, 4 major, 4 minor. Oh, got it. If you just know that, you can play the song. I can play in a different key. 1, 3 major, 4 major, 4 major, or 4 minor, 1 major, 1, 3, 4, 4 minor, 1. Okay, so I can go up to this key. 1 major, 3 major, 4 major, 4 minor, 1 major again. Okay, so these key changes, this gets a little bit more sophisticated here, but this is how you begin to learn what chords are taken from different keys, or if you've changed keys. Okay. Now I have a lot of videos on these things as well. I don't just have stuff in my Beato book, but the Beato book has everything organized really well. Okay. This in my Beato Ear Training will teach you how to hear these things. So the way that you hear them is you recognize the interval relationships from the bass notes of each chord, and then you listen to the chord quality. Okay? So my ear training, and you just go to rickbeato.com, you can buy my ear training course. You get all 4 of my educational things for one price, $119. You can support the channel, and you can learn all this stuff yourself. If you haven't played guitar before, I got my beginner guitar course and my quick lessons pro. If you already play, that's much more advanced, and it'll teach you about modes. Okay, I have lectures and all these things. There's like 80 different. The ear training course has hundreds of modules. It's got how many modules here? It's 80 video lessons. Check it out, 80 video lessons. Hundreds of interactive training modules, and a 27-page PDF booklet that goes with it. Okay? My Beato Book Interactive has hundreds of audio examples throughout the book. So anything that you see in there that's written in notation, you just click the play button, it'll play it for you so you know what it sounds like, okay? It's got dozens of video lectures that will clarify all this stuff. Basically like this 1 hour thing, except there's many of them. And it's a 500-page textbook that has tab that goes with it if you play guitar and you want to do that, but it's got notation too. But it also is written in the way that I'm writing things here in very basic terms here, where we're not reading notes when I do this, right? This is, I'm just talking about the basic components of music theory here. Did Hendrix and Lennon write musical notes for the songs? I have a Jimi Hendrix lead sheet that he wrote with all the notation in it that I took at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when I was there in 2021. I want to say March of 2020. Let's see if I can find it here. I have Jimi Hendrix handwritten note that looks like it's on a brand new piece of paper. It's like for Purple Haze or something. Let me see here. People are like, oh, Jimi Hendrix, could he do this? Yeah, he actually could, believe it or not. 2021, I think. When was it? March, maybe? I'm going to find it here. And I'll show you Jimi Hendrix's handwriting. I think I put it on my Instagram. Let's see if I find it. Where is this here? I will find it. Billy, did I ever post that, the Jimi Hendrix thing?
I don't think you did.
I thought I posted it on Instagram. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I went to a special exhibit. People are asking about the writing pad I have, Mike. It's an iPad with just a PDF thing that you can write with. It's kind of cool, right? I was shocked actually that Hendrix had the thing written out, to be honest with you. He had the lyrics. I'm not going to be able to find it. I'd have to see when I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. Let me look it up here. And I can tell you when I went. There we go. So it was in October 30th, 2020. Oh, I can find it now. Just look it up here. I was shocked that that Hendrix, year 2021, October 30th. I'm actually surprised it was then. Seems like it was a long. I guess it's been a long time. October. Here we go. Okay. Where's Hendrix? Is this it here? I think I found it. Yes. Voodoo Child. Oh my God, this is amazing. Look at this. Oh, you're never gonna be able to see this. This is Jimmy's handwriting is really good. Yeah. I'll have to post this after because I have to. It'll never come up. You'll never see this on here. He has all his lyrics written out. It's weird. It's like key of E. It has the chords, and it's very neatly written. Somebody must have put it under glass or something because the piece of paper was bright white. It hadn't yellowed at all. So, and he had all the chords and everything in there. So Jimi Hendrix knew what he was doing. He knew all this stuff. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit about ear training related to the music theory stuff that we've learned. Okay, because this is how music theory and ear training are related. Well, you can't learn ear training without knowing music theory because ear training is all about what things are called. Okay. The first thing in my Beato book that I teach are intervals, meaning what is the distance from one note to the next, okay? So, intervals. Intervals. So, minor second, minor third, major third, perfect fourth, tritone or augmented fourth, minor sixth, major sixth, perfect fifth, minor sixth, major sixth, minor seven, major seven, and then perfect eighth or octave. These are the intervals that we use in music, and each of these is a half step. So we start on the note C. From C to D flat is a minor second, okay? C to D is a major second, or 2 half steps. C to E flat is a minor third, C to E is a major third, C to F is a perfect fourth, C to F sharp is a tritone or augmented fourth. If it's C to G flat, it'd be a diminished fifth. Not important to know, but these are things that you will learn in my ear training course. C to G, perfect fifth, minor sixth, major sixth, minor seventh, major seventh, octave. Okay, when you hear these things, this is how you learn a song really quickly. If I have da, then I'm going to go dum, dum, dum. So I know the bass notes going 1 to the major third to the fourth, back to the 1. So then you learn the quality of the chords. Quality is it major, minor, diminished, augmented, dominant, quality, and you develop your vocabulary of recognized sounds. Okay? Major. This is a major chord. Major chord. Major chord. Minor chord. So if I can follow the root motion, meaning the bass notes, 1, major third, so from there to there, and then I know that chord is a major chord. Then it goes up to the fourth, a fourth above the root to a major chord, then the same chord as a minor chord, so 4 minor, and then back to 1. So this is how I do this. I basically use simple intervals, and you follow the bass line. So you look for the bass motion, meaning what is the interval from each bass note. Okay, so that if I'm going from A to C sharp major to D minor, 1 major, 3 major. Normally in the key of A major, you'd have C sharp minor. 4 major, 4 minor, back to 1, which would be A, 1 minor, 1 major, I mean. Okay? This is how you do it. So I'm listening for those bass notes. Bum, 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 bum. I hear those. 1, up to the major third, up to the fourth, up to the fourth, back to the 1. And I like major, 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 minor, major. I just hear that. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is good. Piece of cake. So this is why you learn, this is why you do ear training. So you can figure out songs like that without having to go to YouTube and look it up. Because half the time you look up things and they're done wrong. My nephew was playing the song Disarm by Smashing Pumpkins. And he learned it off some guitar app. And he had just started playing. This is at Christmas. We went over to my sister-in-law's house and he played and it was great. And I said, Brady, okay, let's learn it the way Billy Corgan plays it. It's really E minor 7 to C add 9 to G. And these little subtle differences. Instead of E minor, it's E minor 7, C add 9, G. And I said that those the difference, the distance, or those little subtle differences are what make you sound like a pro to people. And this is the thing, when I was a kid, that I was able to do. Well, there's no tab or anything. People didn't learn from tab, so there was really no way that you could figure out songs unless you just had a good ear. So, having a good ear and being able to pick out these things and know the difference between E minor and E minor 7, or C major and C add 9. All right, here's C major. So Brady was playing. No, that's perfectly fine. That kind of sounds like the song, but right there, those subtle things are what separates people that have great ears or pros from amateurs. When I heard the song, the first song I ever learned was an America song. It was called Never Found the Time. I made a video on it. And when I heard it, I had a book for it. And I was like, this is not right. This doesn't sound right. I didn't know it was played on a 12-string because I didn't know what a 12-string was. It wasn't until I went to a music lover's shop with my mom. And I saw this thing. I said, what is that? And the guy at the store was like, this is a 12-string. And I played it. And my mom and I said, wow, that sounds amazing. And I bought a 12-string. That was my first guitar, was a 12-string. I mean, I had this really cheap guitar called a Global that my brother got for $1 from a friend of his. But once I heard that, I said, okay, well, this is definitely played on a 12-string. And this has really high guitar parts. It has triads up high. But those high strings, I knew they were there, but I just didn't have the knowledge to know it was played on a 12-string. And they only had just the basic open chords. So it was just like a basic description of how the song is played. But really, these are the things that I was able to do because I have a very good ear. I was able to recognize this immediately and say, that doesn't sound right to me. I know there's people like that too that can do that. I have a couple super chats that I want to get in here. I got a super chat from EMF. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And Ariel, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Did I miss any other top chats, Billy?
Yeah, just two. Jake Hal.
Yep.
Donated, €2.
Yep.
Hey Rick, big love from Liverpool, England.
Nice.
And then Sage Master 4 donated $20. iPad video, get hyped, people.
Get hyped. iPad video. So this being able to hear these things, the ear training, when you can hear chord progressions, and not just chord progressions, but hear these subtle differences between chords. Like what are you really hearing? Are you hearing a minor 7 or this Jeff Beck lick that I played earlier that is, knowing what these beautiful, right? If I put E in the bass. That's E Dorian. Who does that? Jeff Beck does that. He's using the whammy on there. It's beautiful. That's Jeff Beck's guitar shop. A couple other top chats here. Rick, you definitely need a series of anniversary albums like the Who's Quadrophenia, Siamese Dream, Journey, Frontiers. Yeah, there's a lot of anniversaries, a bunch of anniversaries I missed, like 50-year anniversaries in the past couple years that I definitely missed out on. It's hard to talk about entire albums. Maybe it's not hard. I prefer to do it in this kind of a thing in a live stream. I think it's more effective doing that. Polyphonic groove. You're fairly new to music theory. I know it depends on the key, but when notes have to change name. For example, C sharp or D flat. What's the point of changing name of the note? Very good question. That's a great question. Why C sharp or why D flat? Okay, well, I'll tell you why. Let's say that you have two different things that this is for ear training, this is for theory. It's all the same stuff, but the distance spanned and the letter name, like how many letter names are have you gone between. So let's see if you have the notes A, C sharp, E, or A, D flat, E. Okay, so why is, well, C sharp and D flat are kind of the same notes, right? They're enharmonic notes. They just have different spellings, right? So how do you know if it's a C sharp or E? Well, it depends on the context. If I'm in the key of A major, I know A major has 3 sharps, so I'm going to write it out. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. Whoops. God, I can't write. E, F sharp, G sharp, okay? So this C sharp is the 3rd note of the scale. That's why you would use the C sharp, because it's from a sharp key, okay? A, C sharp, E. Remember, every other note, that's A major. So it all depends on what the context is. To the ear, is C sharp, are C sharp and D flat different? Well, yeah, I mean, they can be if you're playing a violin or something without frets. On the guitar or the piano, it's going to be the same note, though. Unless you're bending, unless you're Jeff Beck and you're altering the notes slightly to conform to the actual temperament of the key. But those are called enharmonics. It's the same note with a different name. Okay, so if I play this note here, sorry for the buzz. I'm gonna get Dave over here to fix that. Sounds like a sitar. That note is a C sharp or a D flat. Okay, when would it be a D flat? Well, if it was part of, that's a D flat major. D flat, F, A flat, D flat. But if it's a C major, it's a C sharp. Okay, it just depends on what the context is. That's a great question, though. And harmonics. To the ear, though, it's not going to sound different. Okay, but an excellent question. So there's things that in music theory, you have to know context, okay? Ear training, you just recognize the intervals. So intervals and quality, chord quality, are the important things. Follow the bass line. And listen to the chord quality. This is how you figure out songs. So if I'm thinking about Wichita Lineman, if I know what the first chord is, I am a lineman for the county. Bum, bum, bum. Then bum, 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 bum. I'm just singing the bass notes there. So ba 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 bum bum bum. I'm sorry. So following the bass notes by ear and then listening to the chord quality, that's what you have to know. And you have to just drill these things. So in my ear training course, go to rickbeato.com and you can find it there. Everything is for sale for $119. It's $300 and something off on it. It's rickbeato.com. And you'll have the ear training course, the music theory Beato book. You have my beginner guitar course. If you play some other instrument, or you want to learn how to play an instrument right off the bat. And then my Quick Lessons Pro, which talks about modes and things like that. It's more sophisticated stuff. I mean, all these things talk about suspend. I see somebody writes sus chords. Brian wrote sus chords there. Yes, so sus chords, learning to hear what they are, knowing the theory behind them. This is all stuff that's in my book and also in my ear training course. So there's a lot of cross pollination of these things, right? So I think that's it. That's an hour right there. That's a lot of work to put in. Okay. Now you might be like, I don't understand this. You're not going to understand this on one 1 hour thing. You can watch the video over and over. You can buy buy my course, or buy the, get the deal with all 4 courses for the one price. And you support the channel, which is how I'm able to go and interview Steve Lukather like I just did. And interviewing, Pat Metheny and Sting and all these people I've been able to do. This is how I do it, is I take what I earned from here and I put it back into the channel. So so that's really that's the thing right there. It's like these things are help you grow as a musician, and they also support the channel, help me to be able to not have ads on here. I mean, other than the skip through ads and stuff. But I don't have to take any type of I don't have anyone telling me what to do, to be honest, right? So it's like, oh, this is presented by blah, 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 and then I have to put their ad in, then they have to listen to my ad. Every YouTuber that has that stuff has to have these things approved, and I just don't do that. It's not my thing. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and it's good to be back. We'll see you guys.